Good evening, Lord Woodbridge here. It's a sad fact that times have gotten a bit lean for some of us titled chaps. Yet, even impoverished aristocrats have certain social obligations. Therefore, for those of us unwilling to supplement our modest incomes with the exciting and romantic life of the gentleman burglar, or the gentleman gambler, or the gentleman drug mule, there are a few cost-saving propositions which should allow us to keep up appearances with regard to food and drink. Try to get invited to as many cocktail parties, dinners, and shooting weekends as possible, so that you aren't paying for your own meals. You might also find that events like gallery open houses or strangers' wedding receptions can provide a filling meal and more than a few glasses of complimentary wine. In certain high times, like holidays or during the season, a chap can have 4 or 5 free meals a week. Even in the off-season, a resourceful and charming fellow can inveigle his way to 1 or 2 free meals a week, or perhaps more, if he's willing to get to know the local dowagers quite intimately. If he is a progressive sort and in reasonably good physical shape, he might consider expanding also to confirm bachelor opera enthusiasts. Drink cheap wine instead of cheap beer. Not only will it appear more sophisticated, but also a cheap bottle of wine is a bit more intoxicating than a cheap six-pack of your preferred domestic macro brew. This bottle was on an excellent sale and cost me less than $7. It has got me quite a bit tighter than $7 of beer might. However, do be careful not to accidentally develop your palate for wine, or else you'll start tasting the vinegar and wet cardboard in those $4 bottles. Worry not, this will not prevent you from being a wine snob, and in a future lecture, I will explain how to feign expertise convincingly. This will make you merely a fraudulent snob, or in other words, just like most wine connoisseurs. Just grin and bear those dreadfully dull suppers with mummy. You may find that your taste for cheap wine comes in quite handy. Or to bring a bottle party, in which you kindly suggest on the invitation that guests bring a bottle of something to share. For the price of some nibbles and a couple bottles of your own to offer, you will find that for the most part, people will bring far more than they consume. You can even instruct your valet to very discreetly set aside some of the better offerings of your guests. You did request that they bring a bottle to share. You were just too polite to emphasize that you meant sharing primarily with you. When eating out at a time when you cannot count on someone else to treat you, have secreted about your person an old bandage or shard of glass which you can then place on your plate at the end of your meal and right before complaining loudly to the head waiter that you should get your meal for free. Save the bottles for the nicer booze that you enjoy in flusher times, and then refill them with the bottom shelf swill from plastic bottles that you can afford at other times. Additionally, consider using spirits decanters. That way, no one can tell that the brown liquid you're choking down is actually Kentucky Gentleman instead of a 24-year-old single malt scotch. For certain of your friends, this will hold true even if they taste it. When cooking for yourself, away from prying eyes of course, you'll find that pasta is inexpensive and quite filling. If you happen to live in a metropolis, you'll find also that pigeon is quite plentiful, and if you call it quail, no one will know. When going to parties at friends' houses or any other place where the bar is likely to be open, bring an empty flask and funnel. Then, when you prepare yourself a very dry martini, essentially chilled gin, you can surreptitiously adjourn to the gentleman's lavatory and fill your flask, or flasks. If you're especially subtle about it, and you have a coat with deep pockets, you might also be able to abscond with an entire bottle. Just be sure to take something nicer than whatever you brought as a host or hostess gift. So there you have it, 8 clever gambits to ensure you remain fed and at least slightly drunk, even when your bank account can scarcely afford a night out. Cheers.